Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and happy holidays. So, 'tis the season to celebrate with friends and family, to eat, drink, and be merry, of course, all while doing it, rocking out, of course, to some of our favorite non-traditional Christmas and holiday music. So join me as I run through 35 of my favorite Christmas and holiday music albums. But before we get started with all of that, if you are new to my channel and haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, you'll be able to stay up to date on all things going on in the world of music, just like this, with taking a look at 35 non-traditional Christmas albums, holiday music from the rock, metal, and alternative world. So I've got my box here. We're going to jump right into this. And this particular year, we've got two new ones that just came out. This one here, Steve Perry, former Journey vocalist, doing one called This Season or The Season, and it's got 8 tracks on it. The songs themselves are done with the orchestration, so they are more in that traditional vein, but of course with Steve Perry singing over it, it's got that melodic rock feel to it that we know and love from him. Paul Gilbert of Mr. Big doing this album here called 'Twas. It's got 12 tracks on here. Really good. He's doing the shred style guitar that we know and like. He does, you know, some of the traditional ones like Let It Snow, Frosty the Snowman, Hark the Herald Angels Sings. He also wrote 2 brand new ones for it, so you've got that to look forward to on there as well. All right, I've got a couple prog rock ones as well. Orchestral Space Christmas. This one here is pretty cool. Of course, it's got Alan Davey of Hawkwind in here doing this, and the Hawkwind orchestral version of the band, I guess you'd call it. But there's also some cool guests. We've got Glenn Hughes, Rick Wakeman, Robbie Krieger of The Doors on here doing some traditional ones, Oh Holy Night, We Three Kings, and so forth. Got some great stuff on there. Here's another one that's got some cool guests on it, a prog rock Christmas. This one here came out in 2019, and it's got John Davison currently of Yes. It's also got Steve Morse of Deep Purple on here, Billy Shearwood and Patrick Moraz, other Yes members. We've got Jeff Downs again of Yes, but also of Asia, and John Wetton of Asia on here. They've got some good stuff, and they really mix it up and reinterpret those Christmas numbers in a very interesting way. We've also got Rick Wakeman, former Yes keyboardist, doing one. This one came out originally in 2000. This is the 2020 reissue of it. And of course, these are all instrumentals on here, but done only as Rick Wakeman can do them. All right, then I've got some heavy metal ones here. So first one up, actually got 2 here from this guy. So we got Rob Halford's Celestial and Halford the Band, Winter Songs. Both of these excellent releases. This one's a bit heavier than this one here, so if you're looking for more of the Judas Priest, go with Celestial. There's the traditional songs that are done on here and reinterpreted in his style, but he's also got some originals like Donner and Blitzen on here and some other really cool ones. And same thing with this. There's originals, but there's also traditionals and stuff like that. Very cool. I gotta have those every year. Currently listening to them right now, in fact. We've got Twisted Sister, a Twisted Christmas. This one's got 10 tracks on it. It's got some of the traditional ones, but they are revved up the way Twisted Sister would do them. Of course, Dee Snider going over the top. Actually takes the song We're Not Gonna Take It, and it takes the lyrics from one of the Christmas songs and puts it right into it. So that was kind of an interesting thing. You still get their most classic song done as a Christmas song on here. And then Helix, a heavy metal Christmas. This one here's got 10 tracks. All of them look to be the Christmas classics, but they don't give you any songwriting credits on it. Unfortunately, very little packaging, so we don't know. But if you're a fan of Brian Vollmer there, it's really good to have. Next in here, we've got some classic rock ones, and my favorite, Cheap Trick, Christmas. Absolutely love this album. Couldn't say enough about it. If you're looking for just a good one that sounds like the band, in this case Cheap Trick, but it's still Christmas, this is a very good non-traditional sounding album that is still a holiday and Christmas album. 12 tracks on here. It's got, again, originals, but also it's got the classics and whatnot. Out of all these, I would say that one there and maybe that Rob Halford Celestial are probably my favorites, but I'll see as I go through. Something else might jolt the memory there. REO Speedwagon, Not So Silent Night. This is a reissue one here that's got, I think, 4 or 5 bonus tracks that are on this one. And originally it's got the 13 tracks, so a total of 17 now on it. Very cool stuff, of course, done again in the REO Speedwagon style. 38 Special have one as well, done a number of years ago, a Wideeyed Christmas Night. This one came out in 2001, so actually 20th anniversary of this album this year, if you can find it. Don't know if it's still in print. It's got all the traditionals, Jingle Bell Rock, Here Comes Santa Claus, Hallelujah, It's Christmas and I Miss You. I think there might be a couple originals, maybe those two, I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I listened to them. I listen to them once a year, a couple times, and they go away. But it's always fun because it's like having new music at Christmas time when I pull these out and haven't listened to them in that long. Leonard Skinner's got one here, Christmas Time Again. Really good stuff as always on the Southern Rock. This one here had some of these other artists on here. It had 38 Special on here, and then the next year 38 Special got the Christmas album. But it's got, you know, Skinnerd and the Skinnerd family on here, so that's kind of cool. A little bit of a comp like that. This one here is a white label promo only copy. I never picked up the original, but I'll tell you why. Chicago 25, the Christmas album. So down at the bottom on this thing here, it states that this is a CDR work. The master tapes were not available at this time when it was made, so that this disc is made from other sources and it just has a different feel to it than the final version that came out. And I kind of like that. It was a working compilation to try to figure out if they wanted to do it, and no guarantee that these songs would turn up as the final versions on what came out. So I went with that. I've actually never checked out to figure out if the 20 tracks that are on here are what got released. Probably is, but just kind of a fun, something different, and a little bit of a collector's item in and of that. All right, so I've also got some alternative ones, some punk ones. Goo Goo Dolls here, It's Christmas All Over. This one here came out in 2020, so last year. And again, just good stuff. It's definitely the more melodic side of the Goo Goo Dolls. I think there were 2 originals on this and then a bunch of traditionals as well. Here's another one that I always really like because it's just so different than the average thing out there. Bad Religion, punk band doing Christmas songs. 9 of them. I think it's really, really short too, about 25 minutes or something, because you know they just rip through these in a couple minutes, but it's got Hark the Herald Angels Sing, O Come All Ye Faithful. If you want to hear punk versions of those, that's a great album. Now, we've got another one. Whether you consider this band metal or punk metal or horror metal, right? We've got the Misfits and an EP from them doing 3 tracks. This one here is just so very cool. I wish these guys would do a whole album worth of it. It's got You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, Island of Misfit Toys, and Blue Christmas. So some tracks there that you really wouldn't expect them doing. Lots and lots of fun. All right, so staying kind of in the alternative world, but also in the pop world, we've got Scott Weiland, former STP, Stone Temple Pilots singer, doing The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. This one here's got 10 tracks on it, totally unmistakable Scott Weiland singing, but the music is strictly traditional sounding carols, as if Bing Crosby or someone was doing it, but you get him doing updated versions. And so this album, same sort of thing. Billy Idol, right? Original punk rocker with Generation X, but of course his solo stuff pop in the 80s that he did. And this one here, right? 17 tracks. They've just reissued it this year, so that's out if you want to check it out. Same sort of thing. Very traditional music, but done with the vocals of Billy Idol. So if you don't want to listen to the Bing Crosbys and Neil Diamonds and that kind of stuff from the original, you know, Frank Sinatra's and so forth, you can now listen to these guys doing it, crooning it out all the same. And then I've got this one here where she started off in the alternative rock and sort of punk world of No Doubt, moving into the pop world. Gwen Stefani album here. And this one here, You Make It Feel Like Christmas. And it's actually very good. I didn't think I would enjoy it very much. I thought it would be far too pop, but it's definitely got her vocals on it, meaning the style in which she sings, and a lot of these are that way. So even if the music is a more pop or traditional sounding, the vocals in these are unmistakable, and so it's just a lot of fun. It's like hearing an old friend kind of a thing. All right, then I got some cool ones here. This is an instrumental one. I've got, oh, actually 4 of these. Gary Hoey, guitar player from the band Heavy Bones, and of course solo, doing a lot of other stuff. Ho Ho Hoey, 11 tracks on this one. Ho Ho Hoey 2, 3, and the best of Ho Ho Hoey. So a lot of great stuff. You don't want to pick up the 3 individuals. There is a best of out there, but by far the first album, or sorry, I think that was 3. First one is the best one. So if you only pick one of those up and you want some cool guitar shredding instrumental music, Gary Hoey is great for that. Okay, I've got 3 of them from probably the most famous of the Christmas bands out there, or bands that play Christmas music, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, right? Of course, originally Sabotage, who morphed into this band. So again, you've got that heavy, metal style to it, but still doing orchestrated versions of things. Christmas Attic follow-up and The Lost Christmas Eve, all good stuff. I think there's best of versions, some live versions. You can see there's an EP behind me, so they've got a number of things out. And now we get into some compilations as we start to close this out here. Steve Lukather and Friends Sentimental, instead of Sentimental. 10 tracks that are on here, and of course it focuses on Steve Lukather doing these, but we've got other cool people like Steve Vai is on here. You've got some of his other bandmates, Toto's bandmate, Steve Lukather, sorry, from Toto on these. You've got Greg Bissonette from David Lee Roth Band. You've got just a number of other players. Edgar Winter is on here doing some sax. John Pierce, Lenny Castro, lots of good guys on there. And then we got some other guitar instrumental stuff, not necessarily shred the way Gary Hoey did or Paul Gilbert did, but just good guitar players, Merry Axmas. And so this was put together by Steve Vai, and he's the executive producer on these. We've got Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Eric Johnson, Jeff Beck, Joe Satriani, Steve Morse, Joe Perry, Alex Lifeson of Rush, Richie Sambora, former, Bon Jovi. We've got Ted Nugent, Trevor Rabin, Steve Stevens, Neil Schon of Journey. So many good ones on here. If you want some good classic rock sounding Christmas, there's that. Here's some that I really like. We Wish You a Hairy Christmas is in hair metal. So a lot of glam metal bands on here. We got Warrant, Danger Danger, Enough's Enough, LA Guns, Bullet Boys, Tough, Every Mother's Nightmare, Gilby Clarke, Pretty Boy Floyd, Rox Gang, and Faster Pussycat. Probably the only one I'm going to read out all of them on because I love all those bands and they're just so good. Well, maybe some of these others, we'll see. Monster Ballads Christmas version. On here we've got Skid Row, Winger, Warrant, Lita Ford, Queensryche, LA Guns, Firehouse, Danger Danger, Tom Kiefer, A Cinderella, Nelson, Faster Pussycat, Dokken, Enough's Enough, Striper, and a Billy Idol song on here. Here's another really good one. This one, what is it? It's We Wish You a Metal Christmas and a Headbanging New Year. And this one here, 12 tracks on it, and it's a compilation of people, various musicians performing on it. So Bruce Kulick of Kiss, Jeff Scott Soto, Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead, Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, Alice Cooper, Ronnie James Dio is on here, Jeff Tate of Queensryche, Doug Pinnick, King's X, Tim Owens, formerly Judas Priest, Chuck Billy of Testament, Ani Logan of Lynch Mob, Stephen Pearcy of Rat, Joe Lynn Turner, Tommy Shaw of Styx. We've got The Glam That Stole Christmas, so a real sleaze rocks glam metal version. Lillian Axe is on here. And then some lesser known bands like American Heartbreak, which had guys from, oh geez, I'm totally spacing on the name. Billy Rowe is in the lineup. You guys will pick up on that name and fill me in on it, certainly, I'm sure. Loud and Nasty, which is an outstanding sleaze rock glam metal band that unfortunately is no longer around, really. But just some good stuff on here. Christy Crash Majors and so forth. And the last one, the 35th one in here, a classic rock Christmas. We've got Styx on here, REO Speedwagon, Eddie Money, John Waite, Greg Lake, Survivor, Keith Emerson, Tommy Shaw, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad. Just really great stuff. So there you go, 35 non-traditional Christmas and holiday albums of the rock, metal, and alternative sort. Hopefully this gave you guys some new stuff to go search out, so you don't have to listen to your parents' old traditional records and things of that nature, although I do enjoy some of that myself, as you probably do just from the memories, but you can make new memories with all of this. All right, everyone, happy holidays, happy new year, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.